Hello and welcome to the Ben & Jerry's Ice Cream Project exercise. This is an introduction that I'm putting together for you to really walk you through the 10 modules that you've got that are going to really talk about how do you create opportunities from an entrepreneurial standpoint. How do you look at it from a problem-solving standpoint? How do you look at it from an engaging your stakeholders perspective? How do you really take a situation that you start from with Ben & Jerry's and then go off and come up with new ideas, come up with opportunities that create a new product for you? So a lot of times you'll say, hey, I like my ice cream on a handheld. Other times you may say, you know what, I like it on a stick. But sometimes what you might do is you might say that there's got to be a way to come up with, using our imagination, a new idea, a new product that wasn't originally designed. That's what we're going to have you work on for this particular course. So you're going to be assigned to a think tank associated with Ben & Jerry's, and your team in that think tank is going to be looking at solving what we could call a complex problem, what we could call a unique and incredible opportunity, and to create novel, unique solutions associated with that. So let's take a peek at what we've got lined up for you. We're going to take this, I'll call it, opportunity in front of you from Ben & Jerry's, and we're going to have you break it apart into two different categories. You're going to look at potentially a process change. So anything you want from a process standpoint that Ben & Jerry's is doing, you get an opportunity to go explore. Pull it apart, put it together, come up with new ideas associated with it. The next piece is going to be a product change. Product change could be coming up with something radically different that you didn't have previously that you can now call a new product. And what would that look like? You can change the ingredients, the composition, the appearance, the flavor profile, and the consistency of the ice cream product. So it's really going to give you the opportunity to use your imagination. That wild imagination technique is something that you're going to be utilizing. But before we get into that, you've got to identify what we refer to in Module 1 as opportunity gaps. Where are the gaps associated with, I'll call it, the opportunities that are available for you? So you're going to utilize a tool called the 9 categories of opportunity. You're going to go into that along with the information that we've made available for you and your research that you're going to be doing on Ben & Jerry's, and you're going to identify 5 different opportunities, and then you're going to map those. You're going to take that template of the 9 categories and you're going to give us a understanding of which of the components this actually maps to and how important that would be for you as you move forward. Now, once you get into Module 2, you're going to use a tool called Pestle. Now, the Pestle tool is based upon something referred to as breaking the potential ideas into different categories. Those 9 categories that we created in our last module of opportunity analysis are going to be decomposed down to where you're going to select 5 entrepreneurial opportunities and you're going to lay this level of diagnostic against it. The diagnostic is, what are the potential political areas that could impact your design solution? The economic, the sociological, the technological, the legal, and finally the environmental. And the environmental is one you're going to find very unique because Ben & Jerry's is a company that really strives from a social impact perspective, to make a great impact to the environment. So there's going to be a lot of different techniques that you're going to have to look at, but they're going to have to fit into this category in a balance that's going to make sense for you. So once you're done with that, you're going to get an opportunity to decompose what we refer to as that potential opportunity. We're going to have you pull at it and use that ladder of abstraction. That ladder of abstraction is going to go in 2 different directions. The top one's going to ask you what changes you want to make and why. So what are the new ideas? What areas do you want to go at? And then the bottom side, we're going to drive it down into what's stopping you. These could be potential things within the Ben & Jerry's environment that prevent you from coming up with whatever your new idea, your unique idea would be. It's also going to give you the ability to lay together what we refer to as focus or challenge statements and the structure to those. We'll end up with a branching going in 2 different directions, and you'll be able to select multiple focus or challenge statements, problem statements, and your team will use those prior to using an imagination technique. So Module 4 is where we're going to go in and we're going to have you put together a balanced scorecard. And that balanced scorecard is going to be able to look at Ben & Jerry's from a particular, I'll call it perspective, a specific mindset. You're going to take that ladder of abstraction template you created previously and determine the ideation focus and challenge statements you want to use. You're going to select those. Which ones are those are going to give you the best, I'll call it bang for your buck, as you start to look forward to creating new ideas. So this balanced scorecard that we've got lined up for you here is going to give you an understanding of the Ben & Jerry's company at a different level. It's going to focus on it from 4 different key components, and those components are going to drive your ability to determine where you want to go try to look for new ideas. Now finally, your team's going to get to use ideation exercises associated with wild imaginations, the process for wild imaginations, and the imagination cards. And you're going to be able to use these 5 different imagination techniques: surrogate imagination, replication imagination, prophecy, ingenious imagination, and abstract imagination. All 5 of those different techniques you'll be utilizing to come up with new ideas. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to become a think-a-naut. And a think-a-naut is someone that uses their imagination strategies to create visions to travel to what we call futuristic destinations with no limits. Okay? That'll be the ideation portion of the project, and then your team will come back and you're going to start using some mind mapping software. And you're going to create a representation of those, I'll call it post-it notes that you created from the last technique. Those visual post-it notes are then going to be sorted, organized. You're going to do some level of treatment and assessment associated with it. But it's going to give you the ability to create a palette for these. So now you'll have a palette of these new ideas. They'll be sorted and organized. And then finally, in Module 7, you're going to use a tool I designed for you called SCORE. And you're going to use SCORE to go in and load the top level ideas that you want, a palette of them. And you're going to rank and rate those both qualitatively and quantitatively. And then you're going to hit a little button at the bottom and it's going to tell you which of the ideas maps the strongest to what Ben & Jerry's is looking for. It's going to give you what we would refer to as the ideal idea solution based upon the information that you've created off in multiple tools getting to this point for Ben & Jerry's. And then finally, in Module 8, we're going to have you protostorm what that opportunity value would be. So you're going to actually create a virtual protostorming. You're going to go through and look at it from a product standpoint, from a process standpoint. You're going to pull apart this idea to really make sure you understand this new novel idea that you're going to be presenting to Ben & Jerry's. What are the potential downfalls to it? How can we beef it up? You're going to look at how can we create more opportunity value for Ben & Jerry's, and then you'll make enhancements to that idea population, and you'll ultimately create what we refer to as new functionality and performance capabilities based upon adding value. And then finally, your team is going to be responsible for doing 2 presentations for the Ben & Jerry's team. The first one is going to be the elevator pitch. You're going to have a roughly 2 to 3 minute opportunity where someone on the team, and it's only going to be one person, you're going to have to work as a team to put together what that 2-minute pitch looks like. But they're going to pitch exactly what your design solution is to Ben & Jerry's. You're going to have an opportunity to record that. And then that recording will be evaluated by the Ben & Jerry's company, and you'll get feedback associated with that 2-minute elevator pitch. The second piece of that presentation is going to be a live Zoom introduction using all the team members. You're going to present your idea solution based upon 10 slides. No more than 20 minutes to a live audience, and that live audience is going to have members of the Ben & Jerry's team in it, and those members in the Ben & Jerry's team may have questions for you also, but you're going to present and pitch the opportunity that you've put together for us for the Ben & Jerry's organization. And then finally, we're going to be using that Lean Canvas project report, and you're going to you're basically going to take a lean canvas template in addition to the APA formatted Microsoft Word template that we've got, and you're going to create a summary report for us. It's going to be an opportunity summary report, and that will include all of the components that you would have presented in your presentation, in addition to all those techniques and pieces that we talked about through all 10 of the components. It'll be a complete, concise summary of it, and it'll give you a chance to really cap it off in one document that you could hand off to someone, and that's who we're going to hand it off to, the Ben & Jerry's company, for them to evaluate for you. Now, once you're done with these 10 modules, what I want you to do is I want you to understand that you're going to be the only one in your neighborhood that says that you're a Think-A-Naut. Probably no one else is going to know what that means, but you will. You'll have the opportunity to have explored imagination through 5 different techniques, and you'll be the one that people can come to and say, hey, how would I create a new opportunity? How would I increase value? What are the wild imagination techniques I could use to create something that is revolutionarily new, unique, novel, and something that ultimately will create the ideal design solution for the Ben & Jerry's company. So that's your course project. Ben & Jerry's is excited to see where you're going with this project, because we know it could be design solutions that haven't been seen before, something revolutionary and different, or it could be an enhancement on something that's a process, the product, the way they do business, something that engages their stakeholders, something that builds sustainability within their environment. Okay? So have a great course project, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.